What's up guys, this is the Dan here, and today I'm going to be making a refining video walkthrough and guide. I've been getting a lot of people in game asking me for advice on how to refine, so rather than me explaining it a million times, I'm just going to demonstrate it. So I'm just going to be starting out with the PWI wiki for references of some of the guides and work others have written already, and then I'm going to be using my own game footage of how I refine and uh, how I do it. So here we've got some of the weapon refining bonuses or armor. Here's the refining levels. Obviously scales with the higher refine you have. And here's some of the orb charts, what you need to make certain orbs. And here's another orb chart. Um, and here's some of the refining rates that have been generally accepted. I'll get back onto that when I get to my footage later. Here's a little bit about the rumors. Uh, People have noticed that he gives advice about land NPC, refining hours, crowded areas, and stuff like that. And here's just the rumored officer NPCs. And here's some of the a little chart I made of what you should bring or expect to use. Um, and that's just basically what I use or have used as guidance, is what you need to have before you start. So in this video, this is actually a month old, but I've got two pieces of gear in my bag. I've already plus aided. And here's another piece of gear that I'm going to be demonstrating with on how to plus eight. Um, a little bit before we get into how you do it is why you should do it. Um, I've been refining since the game's come out, and there's been very few times where I've actually lost money refining or spent more than I would have using orbs, and that's just because people have like certain methods they use that seem to have been working. It's not actually just chance that you can save money with orbs or whatever or refining aids. It's just um, actually people have written other guides about how it's better to use refining aids instead of orbs, and I'm not actually going to get into that because I'm just going to be using this as a tutorial on how to do it, not actually getting into the math. If you want to know more about the math of it, there's actually links on the PW wiki. Um, but I've been selling refined services recently thanks to Ches. I've actually been helping people refine for free in the past, and I guess with that idea, it's actually quite profitable. Yeah, I've probably helped 100 people with refined services, and I've maybe lost like money on three pieces of gear total, and those were all G16 weapons and plus 9 armors. That can be a bit tricky. Um, G16 weapons especially because those are 5 mirages each, and the regular weapons are 2 mirages each. But plus 8 on those G16 weapons and plus 9 on the armors are always going to be a coin sink. So unless you're really experienced, I wouldn't recommend trying that. When you actually get really serious and have the Mirages and Event Gold or Tinkang Tisha to back it up, and you're going for your all out on your endgame gear, then try it if you want. But I would still recommend that you would stop on 8 on armors and 7 on the G16 weapons, just for the sake of frustrations that I've had in my own refining experiences. But it's a lot easier when you're making money off of it than it's for your own gear. Um, so basically, what you need are the Mirages, Tinkangs, and Tishas. Um, if you don't know how to get the Tinkangs and Tishas, you can get them with Event Gold through like the pack promotions that they have in game sometimes. There's heroic chests that give those chests of coin things. There's DQ grinding. There's Tiger event. Those are the ways to get that, and just like the regular refining sales, which is what I'm doing in this video, is using the sale refine aids that I bought mainly because I've used all my event gold selling refined services, and I haven't been selling them as much lately because it seems to be like a loss when you actually buy them, whereas you get them for free when you buy promotion stuff. But enough about that. Let's get back to how to actually refine. Um, as you can see in this video, refining with Mirages up to +3, and then I'll Tinking up to 5, and after I get to 5, I like to close the window. Um, I didn't always close the window, but that's just a method I picked up over the years, watching other people refine, and I've been in discussion with other people how they do it, and after a while, I started doing that, and it was actually pretty successful for me. But uh, I've seen people +11, 12 without orb on YouTube, but using the same method. But getting back to how to do it, once you get to that +5, that's kind of like a good benchmark of when you want to start deciding when you want to how far you're gonna go. You want to plan for how far you're gonna go. If you're going for like 8 or 9, you're really going for the higher fine. I'd recommend tinking the 6. I like to tinking my 6s when I go for 8 or 9, but if I'm only going for 6 or 7, I'm probably gonna Tisha. Um, and that's just because when you go for the higher fines, you're either gonna go all in or all out. So um, you're probably gonna expect to have a lot of fails. So you might as well tinking it, knowing you've got nothing to lose. You got to go a lot farther than just that. Whereas if you go for just the 6 and 7, you're pretty much done. You don't want to lose that refine. You actually care about that refine. So in this video, I'm using a piece of armor, so it's only one mirage per try. I use a different method when I go for weapons because they take more mirages. I'm gonna be tinking earlier and Tishaing earlier just to save my money for mirage costs. Um, if you're doing the G16 weapons that take up 5 mirages a try, you definitely don't want to keep miraging 3 because that's like 50k every fail, and that really adds up. So what I would recommend is tinking those 3s to 5 and then Tishaing everything after. If you think about it, like on my server, gold's like 1.2 mil, and so that makes the Tinkangs and Tishas 150k each. If you look at the refining rates thing, it's pretty much like a 42% or something refine rate on +3 with Tinkangs. So it's a pretty good investment if you try to Tinkang that rather than fail with like a 20% chance or something, or 30%. It's a lot better to Tinkang the 3s on weapons. Um, really, when you do refining, you have to pace yourself. Don't go in half cocked. You have to be ready. Um, you got to have all the materials ready and have enough, a little even more than what you should use, just in case you have a really bad streak. Most likely you won't, but just in case. Um, if you fail a lot and you're really stressed out, just take a break. It helps sometimes. Maybe that's just due to the refining times, or I don't know. Sometimes I've just had really bad times where it takes me like 1,000 mirages to +5. Other times I'm +9ing and 50. I don't know what the explanation is for that. It's just a bunch of outliers, it seems like. If it's just not working and it won't go past +3 or 4 or something, then that's probably a hint that you should take a break, unless you're really dedicated and don't want to give up just because you don't want to leave with less than what you started with, or you're in a hurry. That's the worst. You never want to refine in a hurry because you're probably going to spend a lot more because you want to get that refined quicker, and sometimes you're just going to have to put more money in to get the results faster. Another thing that's come to mind that a lot of people ask me about is, does it really matter where you refine? A lot of people like to refine, have their own refining spots like Archosaur, like Thousand Streams, Plume, Dreamweaver, wherever. I like to refine in Plume because I've just had luck there and pretty good success with my refining there. Um, there's also some of the myths about, is it better to refine when nobody's around? Um, while while I prefer to refine when nobody's around, just so I can concentrate more, I've never really been able to prove whether or not that affects your rate. But that's just something I've gotten used to. I like refining when no one's around. Maybe it's just a little paranoid about that, but um, it's been working for me, so I just keep doing that. Um, Another thing is the refine rates that I mentioned earlier. There's been some speculation about those not being the correct rates or, the most precise rates or whatever. I've been refining for since the game started, and there was a day where I literally spent 30,000 mirages plus 90 like 8 pieces of gear for someone, and I actually sat there, and I gotta say those rates are pretty realistic, and while they might not be 100% precise, they're pretty close to the ballpark and giving accurate guidance on what you should be expecting. Um, Pretty much, there's apparently there's no data files in the client side of the client to actually find out if those rates are 100% right or not. Those are all like hardwired in onto the server's information, but those seem to be pretty reliable in their rates. Another thing here is that there are the rumored refining land NPCs that I brought up earlier. There's like a little myth that Duke Black talks about for his certain land NPCs you should refine at for higher rates. Um, I've actually personally tried this. I had some luck, but it wasn't consistent luck. It wasn't really repeatable, so I really don't recommend that you should try using land NPCs. Maybe if you're going for the plus 11s, I actually plus 11 like 5 pieces of gear, like one ocean each at Immolation Camp, but for the most part, it doesn't seem like it's made any difference. Maybe that was just my own luck. Take it for what it with a grain of salt. Um, uh, for that, another thing you want to look out for is what you're spending on the refining. Always compare your results with what the orb costs would have been, and that's just a good way to benchmark what your if your strategy is working or your luck is good or what kind of technique is working for you. Always compare your results to see what you're saving every time. Um, I, like I said earlier, I haven't really lost money from doing refining, so it's a good way to see how you're doing. And if you ever want to sell refined services, that might be a good way to benchmark how you're doing versus what you spend. Um, so anyway, a little recap of this video. You always want to be prepared, have the materials ready, all the Tinkangs and Tishas. You want to have enough so that, you always have more than what you expect to spend. So in case you do run out, you don't have just have to give up and leave with less than what you started with. So just a little challenge out there. If you found this guide useful or if you've listened to this guide, I want you to post your results on the comment section of the video. Just post your results, what you spent, and what your total costs were, and what it would have cost you with orbs. I've already made a guide on my forum, and a lot of people found it useful and posted their results. I want to see you guys post your results. But anyways, if you guys found this video helpful, hit that like and favorite button. It helps me grow my channel. Good luck refining, guys, and I'll talk to you guys later.